So in this moment that I'm making this video, it is January 8th, 2025. And I've been thinking a lot about how this is Sun and Moon Mother time in Landscape of Mothers, and that there's often this great push on New Year's Day to like set your New Year's resolutions and decide what this year's going to be like, and then start going for it and all this stuff. And Sun and Moon Mother time really suggests that this is not the time for this kind of thing, that this would be better done later in the spring. And that this time, even though the sun has started to return from since solstice, so in December we had winter solstice, the longest night, and so the sun is incrementally, very slowly starting to return. And but it doesn't mean that winter's over, right? So we're still in winter. It's still the coldest time of the year. It's still pretty dark, and so it is still time in nature. This is still winter. This is winter. In fact, winter just started at the solstice in a like Celtic wheel of the year system. And this is the definition of winter, is that even though the sun has started to return, the energy, the life force energy, is still quiet, and it's still taking that tending kind of energy. So Sun and Moon Mother, in practical terms, really is a chop wood, carry water kind of mother. That means that it's about getting back to basics, doing only what needs to be done and nothing more. That it's a time that she's focused on rest and integration and just taking a moment, taking a beat before we continue on to the next thing. So if you're feeling really like stretched thin by having gone through all of the holiday stuff, and then now being in a place where you feel pushed to, make your New Year's resolutions and get on with 2025, know that in natural systems, that's not the way winter works. That there is still this time, this downtime of resting and deep listening, and I know that our systems aren't set up for it. So there's also the sense that if we're going to claim this, we have to work to claim this part, this rest time, this downtime, this listening, this moving slowly, because our systems want us back at work and back at school and getting on again with everything. But when we do that, we tend to feel pretty mechanized and pretty stretched thin, because this is not the time of year that we're supposed to be acting like this. So just inviting, in whatever way, there's a million kinds of rest, and a million kinds of downtime, a million kinds of integration time. So there's the obvious, which is sleep, but there's also reading a book. There's also doing a puzzle. There's also taking naps. There's all kinds of downtime, and even sometimes that downtime is social, which means that just spending time together without, though, a sense of it having to be productive or something in particular having to happen, or a huge energy expenditure. So any of those tasks or things that we do, so a lot of creative work can be rest. It's a rest for the mind. It's a rest for the parts of us that are organized, more organized, and a little more rigid. And so that creative kind of letting things go, drawing, can also be rest. And sometimes it's helpful to notice what we're trying to rest from. So if it's busyness, sometimes just like not being so busy and doing some like little creative things is the rest. Sometimes if we're physically very tired, then sleeping is the rest. So just being a little bit flexible with your definitions, and just kind of inviting yourself into the question of what nourishes and tends to you and your nervous system and the nervous system of your family ecosystem right now. Good luck out there.